it's not really guaranteed damage. You kind of have to play off of the fact of them screwing up. However, you can perhaps use the snowball to get yourself into that perfect range of the power cogs plus battery assault, if that's what you want to go for.
Yeah.
Which they could do, but the only problem is if they don't have enough levels, it's just not going to feel as effective. If the Earthshaker is keeping his distance, then they're going to be able to just stifle that initiation with an easy Fisher. So a little bit strange, but not unheard of.
It's interesting. I've seen a lot of Tusk +1 dual offlanes that have worked out really well. One thing that I saw last night from Archon, the new NAR squad, was they did a Tusk Omni Knight lane. I don't know how well that would function. Obviously, with the Bane, with Fiend's Grip, it's difficult to pick up an Omni Knight. Obviously, Shadow Fiend is pretty good, although Guardian Angel's good in that regard. I think Omni would have been fine, but just people aren't picking that hero, and for good reason. He has mana issues. They picked it with a CM, which I think was one of the reasons why it worked so well. Yeah, he was regenning rather quickly. He got Arcanes pretty early on as well because he got a lot of kills. But no Omni Knight here for Cloud9. They do have the Clockwork and Tusk. Like you mentioned, I think that'll be the dual lane off lane. They have the Dazzle. Viper probably goes mid. They get a safe lane hero for Cloud9 here for Envy. We'll see what that is for Virtus.Pro. They also need a safe lane hero. What is Illidan's hero that they're going to grab? They had the Leshrac for him last game. That's not going to be the case this game. They've picked up a lot of PL for him if they want to go down that route. Spectre's been something they've been grabbing as well. So there's a lot of options here. Illidan has a pretty big carry pool, and we'll see what they go for here within the next 12 seconds of reserve time.
Okay, they go with his tried and true Slark, which is a little bit scary in lane because he's not the greatest laner, but this is why I think this Bane pickup is really going to pay off. It just makes your lane phase in the safe lane a whole hell of a lot easier. So we'll see. Also, keeping this in mind, if it is going to be a dual off, that means naturally their off lane is going to have a better time. So Centaur against presumably Dazzle plus this hero, unless the Viper is in the safe lane, in which case Centaur would have actually a really tough time.
That's not an easy lane to be in, yeah.
The only problem with doing that, though, is you run into the problem of not having a good enough hero to carry in the late game. Yeah. Unless you put a very hard Ricer in mid, but if you do that, you're just going to get destroyed against the Shadow Fiend.
Yeah.
So there's always these like give and take. Like, what do you want to take, and what are you going to give in terms of letting this lane do as well as it should, or not letting him get anything. So it's where your priorities lie. Do you want to make sure Centaur gets absolutely nothing, and then just try to snowball, and not give Virtus.Pro any chance to get into the late game, or do you try to get a little bit greedy here and pick a very, very late game carry, and then say, all right, well, Centaur's going to have a better time, and we're just going to have to deal with him having a faster blink. So it's kind of scary, the position that Cloud9's in right now.
And I really do like Viper against Shadow Fiend mid as well. That's something that the matchup there is I don't know if it's favorable, but it's something that I think is an okay matchup for Cloud9. They go for the anti-mage, which that's about as hard as you can get for a Ricer, at least for the first 40 minutes of the game. He's going to be super effective. Interesting to note, Slark has not been picked for Virtus.Pro, and we talk about how this is Illidan's hero. It has not been picked in at least the last like 10 to 15 games that they've played. And going back to, eSportal, back to their matches against EG, even going to the next big gen Dota buff. They've picked it once at ESL 1 Frankfurt, I believe, actually twice. They lost both matches with it, once against Secret and then once against Evil Geniuses. So clearly this Slark pickup has been not doing the best for them. And I think that just is an overarching problem of the entire pro community. Not many people picking Slark anymore. There used to be a time when Slark was picked almost, I wouldn't say every game, but it was picked a damn a lot, man. And he's kind of fallen out of favor with the competitive scene.
5 seconds.
We'll see how he can do. I'm wondering if Virtus.Pro want to just go dual lanes and put Earthshaker behind the Centaur and give him a little bit easier time. Anti-Mage, I actually really like the pickup, this last pick from Cloud9. I think in a dual lane, you don't need 3 heroes for an anti-mage lane to actually pressure out the offlaner. He does it very, very well himself, +1. Just because the mana break is so effective. It zones him out almost by himself. And then obviously he can carry pretty hard in late game too, so that's always an added bonus. Yeah, we'll see how the laning phase goes. I think Viper should win mid. You were alluding to that. I do think Viper is very good against Shadow Fiend. It just pressures him so heavily. And then I'm very curious to see how top goes.
Top is going to be the most interesting thing for sure. And we don't know where the lanes are going to shape up, but it does look like it's going to be Bone7 and No-Tail heading up to that top lane. So it's not going to be a farming Tusk. It'll be a farming Clockwork instead. But I think this is fine. We've seen No-Tail run the Tusk in the support role before. And as long as he has a better game than what he had on that Nagasar, and I think it's going to be okay, because that game, and it wasn't really his fault. It just didn't really have anything to set up with. The Riptide wasn't doing enough damage. He was rotating too often. They were playing musical lanes. They didn't really know what they wanted to get done bottom with Bone7 on the Jakiro. So Virtus.Pro, obviously off to this 1-0 start. Cloud9, I have a very good feeling about how this game is going to go. I think they drafted well. I think Envy is very confident with his anti-mage. And of course, like you mentioned, Fata in that mid lane matchup against G should be okay. They're going to go for the top rune spot. Illidan was there for a moment. Fata will grab the top rune spot. It'll be G grabbing the bottom one. So both mid laners getting up their early bounty runes. No surprises there. Envy will start off this lane alone. They'll rotate the supports, at least one of the supports down bottom. That is going to be Misery. He has only a sentry and 2 tangos. He went pure support, as pure as you can get it. FNG will come mid. He'll probably use his Enfeeble to just maybe annoy Fata here. Of course, the other Toxin is okay in that regard, but just it's super frustrating to deal with. And even he went for poison attack first. He's just going to try to harass and do his best. He even gets a last hit with the Enfeeble on. We'll see how this goes as we progress through.
And a block coming out from the Earthshaker to help out DK Phobos in lane, just to get that lane back a little bit. And you mentioned the lack of not only regen but stats here for Misery, and that actually will play a role, I think, in this bottom lane. DK Phobos getting return level 1, trading auto attacks. He's totally okay with that from Anti-Mage. It actually makes Anti-Mage do more damage to himself than he deals to DK Phobos. And if you get some levels up onto the double edge, I imagine he'll actually save points. And maybe he goes for like perhaps 2 into double edge at level 3. He's just gonna maybe wait. We'll see, because he can't possibly get a kill. Nope, he just levels up the hoof stomp right away. Okay.
Right now, he's just going to be passive. There's a good pull for Misery. He's going to chain pull it as well, and it looks like DK Phobos might come over to contest. No boots, though. Top lane, they're going to be trying to go on. There's Fisher. Bone7 in trouble. Snowball will come through. We'll save him for now. They do hit on the Illidan. Bone7 will try to get out. Kaj will come through, but it puts him inside, and Illidan will get the first one. Body blocks from Lil. They can't get the kill on No-Tail, but Bone7 does go down. This Tri lane already turning out to be pretty good here from the side of Virtus.Pro.
I really like how VP has stuck with keeping this Tri lane up here in the top lane. I don't think it would be good. Oh, nice pull there from FNG, and in the meantime, he actually forced out the snowball from No-Tail. They'll get a couple of creeps going over that will be denied in terms of experience for them, or for Cloud9. But I think it's really smart that Lil is up here. I know a lot of teams will be like, oh, well, let's just do dual lanes in response and make sure our center has a better time. We don't want an anti-mage getting anything. But I think that dual lane versus dual lane, this Clockwork Tusk duo could put a lot of pressure on this Slark, and they need this Earthshaker behind them to really secure this lane.
DK almost dead. Last right click, he is. Misery comes through, gets the poison touch off. Envy walks up, has a poor man's shield now. So he'll actually get that kill. So the return was doing a lot of work, but he actually leveled up level 2 mana break. Envy going for some extra damage early on to harass out this Centaur, and he'll actually get the offlane Centaur. In fact, he's going to go grab his Ring of Health. It looked like it, then he decided to back up. So, all right. And he's got 15 last hits too. Envy's in heaven right now.
Yep, he's in good shape, and I think this is fine. Typically, you don't see the 2 levels in mana break early on, but if you know that it can positively affect you in lane, especially against a hero that really relies on his mana just for such a crucial spell, but it's like his only spell in that hoof stomp. So I think it's a fine decision from Envy. He actually hasn't put a point up in his stats or spell shield yet. I think he's holding it to see what he wants. Blake forward aggressively. DK Phobos forced to use the hoof stomp right away.
That spell shield is a value point against DK Phobos. All of his damage is magical, no pure damage whatsoever. Mana's gone. Envy just goes to work with that mana break. Sure, the return's doing some damage, but that's fine. Mid lane, lots of snowball. They get the kill. They'll bring down the Shadow Fiend. Lil's in some trouble. He'll try to TP out. He might make it. No. Last right click from Fatsa will do the job. That is a lot of gold for that Viper who already has an Aquila. They'll send a salve out to make sure he regens up. He doesn't want to buy that bottle. It's not particularly great on Viper unless you really want to get rune control, but Fata gets involved in 2 kills there with a roam in from the Earthshaker, and then the counter roam from No-Tail with a great snowball gets him up to 1,000 gold. Really good stuff from Cloud9 so far in this game.
They're winning like almost all 3 lanes. The fact that they're doing it with dual lanes is really impressive. Like Just look at the CS charts. The Anti-Mage is farming, Bots is farming higher than the Shadow Fiend. Misery has 10 last hits. Bone 7 on the Clockwork is 13. I know 10 last hits for Misery, a lot of them are neutrals, but still, he's actually getting something from this bottom lane. It's level 3.5, almost level 4 at 4 minutes. Really good for himself.
Fantastic. Bone 7, like you mentioned, getting some really good CS. They rotate bottom with the Tusk. They want to help out Envy a little bit. He did salve up, and this lane is going to get pulled back, so DK Phobos should be aware that this Tusk is missing after that last engagement. He didn't go back top. Bone 7 is alone currently. They have no vision there. There's not much vision elsewhere. There's only a lane ward mid coming up for Virtus.Pro, and that's it. DK Phobos smartly just working on the C script. They're going to go in anyways, though. Here comes Envy. They're going to get the Ice Shards off. They have the Sigil to slow him down. Poison Touch will go. Last right click. Double Edge comes out. No tail. Not going to take the tower hits. It'll be Misery getting the kill, but 3 of them get involved. Now mid lane, Vata does get stunned up. G's going to be able to walk through. Maybe he's going to be able to right click it. G's going to go down to this Nether Toxin and Poison attack. Bane did get the kill onto Bone 7, who was in the river. I didn't catch that kill, but he did get caught out of position. But that's fine. That death with whatever was happening on the map is an okay trade for Cloud9.
Oh, that Fisher. I cannot believe that actually blocked him. The Fisher, the very edge of it, blocked G from walking away, and it looked really awkward. I thought for sure he could have walked through it, but little unfortunately, and obviously not his intentions, blocked out G there, and Bot was able to get the kill onto him as a result. I mean, he would have killed him if he wasn't there anyway, so it was good for him to be there, but it did not look like he was going to block. Very unfortunate stuff there for Virtus.Pro.
Yeah, so G dies twice, has 17 last hits. Again, this is a Shadow Fiend with a rough start. How often have we seen this? He's got some stacks going for him. They have a backup plan. Top lane, Bone 7 is going to cog up and push Illidan back. They have a lane ward for whenever they want to see rotations for TPs coming to that top lane. They will have it. But that's not going to be the case now. They're going to back up. Fatsa heads back towards mid. Tusk is going to grab some CS mid while this is all happening. There was some lag for Virtus.Pro, but it looks like we're good to go now. They're going to jump back into the game. And Evie continues to get free farm down bottom as well.
I think this last pick, Anti-Mage, is such a great pick for Cloud9. I know I already touched on that a little bit, but like when he gets his fast Battle Fury, and it's going to be fast because this lane is just, there's no pressure. And even if they rotate people in, I don't think they could kill him unless it's like a level 6 Bane. And he's not going to be having that anytime soon. So he's going to get a complete free farm in the bottom lane. And when he does get that Battle Fury, like, there's no one else to like take over the farm from him, like in the jungle. There's not a Shadow Fiend that's going to be sharing farm with. There's no jungler on his team. It's just going to be all him, all day. And like I said, again, without the Fiend's Grip up, when it's down, he can just farm anywhere he wants. He can go into the off lane and start pressuring VPs their side of the map. He can go into their jungle. Slark can never really pressure because he can still blink away from the pounce. It's just, I really like this pick from Cloud9.
Yeah, this is the type of lineup that is going to cause havoc for Cloud9 as well with what they have. They'll make a lot of space for the safe stage, which they're already doing already. And there's the hookshot mid onto G. He's saying, God damn it, I just died. I'm going to die again. He can't even raise the Dance of Death, as it's commonly called. Fata will get the kill. No tail doesn't even have to go in. I think he threw the Ice Shards. No, he didn't even use them. He just throws up the Sigil, slows him down, and they grab another easy kill for Fata, who now has Treads, Aquila, and 500 gold in the bank.
Yeah, I'm really worried for Virtus.Pro. And we touched on it a little bit, but I mean, it goes both ways. It's like both the Anti-Mage is a great pick, but also I don't know if Slark really was the best pick here. I think he's, even against the Viper, I don't think he's going to have the greatest time. Like, Viper's really, really tanky. The Corrosive Skin's going to hurt him too. I just don't see how Slark can actually go into the fight. He's going to have to kind of play really, really scared and try to pick off heroes that are low. So that's going to have to come down to the Shadow Fiend then, who gets them low for Illidan, and Illidan comes in with the cleanup. But I just don't know with the Shadow Fiend having such a bad start if he can even get in any kind of damage with the raises before he dies. It's gonna, oh god, he gets some terrible spawns in the jungle too. Look at triple raises at level 6, and he hardly does any damage to those mud golems. It's just a disaster.
And then he has to do it again to the mud shards, which is super frustrating. Yeah,
it's
not having.
It's like worse than it was before too, because before you're just like, all right, well I'm just gonna ignore it, and now it's like baits you, like, huh, well we're not magic immune anymore, but it doesn't do any damage.
We still suck. We're still mud golems.
Yeah.
He does now have 18 Necromastery stacks at the very least. I like the pressure Cloud9 are putting on bottom. Trilen going in, try to take this tier 1 tower down. Bonesim will just try to get CS or at least Leech experience top lane. He is got 2 Ring of Protections, and that's it. He's only got Boots of Speed, no bottle. He's only got a wand. Tower is taking bottom. They did enfeeble Envy. That's kind of annoying. And he's getting closer and closer to that Battle Fury. They should be 11 to 12 minute Battle Fury. He'll have enough money for a Claymore here pretty soon. Of course, he still needs that Voidstone, and then, of course, the Broadsword. So he still needs 3 components, but he did go for Treads first, so it's not super surprising that he's still a ways away. Vigil onto FNG slows him down, but they're pushing mid instead. They won't be able to take this. I believe there is a Glyph ready to go. I don't know if they're going to rotate in for it, though.
Well, TP up there top. They put out the Fisher stun on the Clockwork, but after that he just TPs away because there's no other follow-up stun. Unless the Earthshaker can get in range for a, excuse me, an Enchant Totem, but he's not even level 4, doesn't have any points in Aftershock, so... Very nice TP away there. Big Daddy no tail. Puts the snowball into Illidan. Might actually get a kill onto him.
Good use of the ultimate there from Illidan, but that's something that he shouldn't have had to do. He went too aggressive. I think he was like, oh, I have a creep wave here, tower will be fine. Nope. Illidan did some, or took some serious damage coming up from no tail, level 3 ice shards. However, that does mean that no tail has lost all of his mana. Bottom lane, Envy going in. Still only level 1 mana void, so the damage isn't that great. But you need that level 2 mana void, and oh god, you better be careful.
Yeah, he's going to have a very nice timed Battle Fury, and if he gets more kills, it's going to be earlier, but I suspect Treads plus Battle Fury around like 13.5, 14 minutes. Which is very, very good. And a Poison Touch on to FNG. Hookshot comes through, Envy with the backstab, maybe he gets a kill, which will help him his gold out. Oh, Bone 7 takes it.
He gets the clear kill.
Bastard.
Yeah. I have Bone 7 needed the kill, to be fair. It looks like he's building towards a Blade Mail. That didn't even get him that much money, to be honest. They'll get the tier 1 tower, which will provide some sort of boon for both him and the Anti-Mage. Anti-Mage has his Perseverance done now. Tier 1 tower is most certainly dead mid. Bots' mech is now done at 10 minutes. Timing's pretty good. I wouldn't say average, but we see it a lot. And for now, Virtus.Pro, they're just focused up on G getting farm in the jungle, Slark getting farm top lane. I'm not really sure what DK Phobos is doing. He's only got 400 gold. He can't go to the jungle. He had a Blink Dagger around this timing last game. It has not been that comfortable for him this game. He has no tier 1 tower for him, any allies to help him in terms of TPs. He really can't go up against Envy. Mana burn so quickly. Top lane, Bone 7 just cog up. It looked like Illidan was going in. Fotza will get fissured nicely by Lil. They don't have Hookshot. It's down for 5 seconds. Fotza's still chasing. He does have his Viper Strike, but the range is too low without that Aghanim Scepter, and they will back away. But this just means that Illidan's not farming still. They just TP a couple heroes top, and they're not comfortable with him sitting up and farming in that top lane.
Man, Viper's such a slow hero.
Yeah.
335 movement speed. It's just awful.
Yeah, he sucks.
That's why I see so many times Vipers after mech will get like a Yasha and just make it into a Mantilator, just to give himself a little bit more movement speed. Obviously the damage and everything else it provides is good too, but god, this hero is so slow.
SMY has been more common. You mentioned Yasha, Manta, but SMY is well something I've seen recently. Envy is gonna blink away. DK Phobos was coming in. Did they have level 6 on the Bane? No, he's still only level 5. They are coming in with Illidan. He grabs an Envy's rune. He will bottle it up. Envy's going to realize that the 12-minute rune is not there. He's going to walk into the entire enemy team. He doesn't have blink for 1. He should blink up to the high ground here, and he will make it away. He actually blinked opposite, where they have an Observer Ward. Stampede will go. Envy is in trouble. This could be a huge kill. They get the Stampede catch, and they get the kill with G's right click. And suddenly, that's a huge, huge pickup for Virtus.Pro.
That is really weird. First of all, for him to just... with no heroes showing on the map for him to blink to the bottom rune. I thought that was kind of strange. Double TP in mid as the Clockwork is taken out by Bane with the help of the Fisher from from Lil. So VP bouncing back a little bit actually.
Yeah. They go for some 5-man aggressive play towards the bottom rune spot. They play together. They find an Anti-Mage, and then with an Invis rune, they also find the Clockwork. And they're still in the hunt for Fotza. They have vision. Illidan won't go. Will he? FNG should have 6 now.
No
they
TP. Fotza.
Fotza's in trouble. He's going to get Fiend's Grip now. He will mech up. Do they have the damage? The Essence Shift will go through, steal some stacks. They have Dark Pact. Vision will come through as well. It does take a lot. That Fotza Viper is very tanky, but they do bring him down. And suddenly 3 quick kills get Virtus.Pro back to 5-7. And actually, Illidan is now the top in net worth, suddenly, seemingly out of nowhere. So some iffy plays from Envy and the rest of Cloud9 make it so Virtus.Pro have more of a shot in this game than I think we imagined.
Those are fantastic rotations from VP, but yeah, they bounce right back into this, and it delays Envy's Battle Fury just by a little bit too. I think he could have had it by now if he didn't die. He only needs about 500 gold, now 400 for his last piece. Still certainly a fine timing for it, but it could have been a little bit earlier. And his fastest ever timing is 12:41.
Yeah, that could have happened. It could have been there. DK Phobos is going to get hookshotted. C9, they've had enough of Virtus.Pro putting the pressure on them. They'll find a hookshot and a kill. They'll even weave up Envy, and they'll put pressure on the tier 2 tower. Illidan will grab another haste rune. He also has drums completed. I don't think he'll wrap in from the back. There's no real way that Virtus.Pro could fight this without Stampede. And Envy will just sit. His broadsword, last creep to get it, will be right here. Head back to the side shot by your Battle Fury. Illidan is coming around from the backside, but they are all sitting pretty close together. No Tail might be in trouble. Snowball will come through. There's going to be the usage of the ult from Illidan. Ice Shards won't connect onto FNG. He's got King's Grip in 10. Fish is going to come out. No Tail in trouble. Gets the sigil. Brain Sap will go. Misery. Good Echo Slam from Illidan. Doesn't do the most damage in the world. There's the Mana Void, but he was full mana when it catch. Didn't do much there. Illidan in trouble. No ult there. Viper Strike goes through. Still has the haste rune. He'll survive. Good Fiend's Grip from FNG. Stop onto 3, but Virtus.Pro, they've got to retreat. They can't take this fight. And they know it. Envy, they take the Nightmare off him. They're going to try to go in. G getting just destroyed by Fox's right click. Illidan regents back up with his ultimate. FNG in trouble. Now we'll go on DK Phobos. Envy gets the double. Requiem comes out. Good enchant totem. Envy in trouble. They get the grave off beautifully from Misery. Lil's going to take some right clicks as well. The poison attack. Just diving into the tower. Finally, Envy goes down. I think it might have been in the well. No, he backed up, blinked away, but he did go down in the end. It is a 4-for-1 trade. His Battle Fury was completed. They'll get the tier 2 tower and Cloud9 on the frickin' warp path.
Oh man, Envy could have. I think he maybe could have lived there. It sounds strange, but if he just, I think, blinked into the trees and waited, he would have been fine. That was a fantastic grave by Misery. Just perfect timing. It's only level 2. It doesn't have the longest range in the world, but he still managed to get it off at the absolute perfect time. I feel really bad for Slark. I think he was just trying to save his buddy Shadow Fiend, who TP'd in. And I think that perhaps G could have manned up there a little bit onto the Viper because he didn't have any more mana. But Illidan, he trades his life for him and stops his farm a little bit, but it could have been a lot worse there for VP. I thought they were all going to get out scot-free, actually. They were just constantly using stuns and fissures. They used the sleep to get away. They're stun actually onto Bone 7, but C9 do come out on top, and that was a couple good kills there for Envy too.
Yeah, Envy, of course, gave me the Battle Fury. He was fighting without any sort of, Manta, no Vlads, so not even his Battle Fury really, but he was doing a lot of damage there, and of course Viper, the frontliner that he is, tanky enough. Now is a Blink Dagger, by the way. So for Virtus.Pro, another huge item that they have to deal with. They are barely starting to come back into this game. DK Phobos is getting closer to the Blink Dagger. He's not there yet. You have G, who just purchased up his mech, which is his first big item on the Shadow Fiend. Hookshot into Lil. They're going to find a kill on this Earthshaker. FNG walks right through. G's going to come in. We'll throw a couple of raises. Squeeze up. Envy comes in, but the Stampede to cover the retreat of Virtus.Pro will keep them alive. So that's on cooldown. Eesh. Cloud9 was just running at him, Trout.
Yeah, and the Clockwork is actually pretty good against DK or Centaur as well, because obviously hooking someone and then cogging them, they can't really run away from the cogs. Unless you have that Aghanims, which you won't have for quite some time. Illidan taking some damage, but also dealing some damage. Pops the Invis, so he doesn't have to use the ultimate. It's going to regen up a little bit. Can he maybe get a frag here if Envy gets greedy? There's a chance, but Envy, he thinks better of it, and he actually just backs up.
Doesn't see Illidan. Doesn't know where he is and decides not to go for it. Cloud9 going to go ahead and try to counter ward. No Tail is right up. They're getting ready to go. Fiend's Grip's going to fly. Flare will go through. Hookshot's not there, I don't believe. He's going to battery assault and try to run in. Fiend's Grip does nothing. Fisher's not there. Weave's going to come through. Here comes Illidan, though. Requiem goes in. Bone 7 in trouble. Echo Slam about to bring him down. There's a great snowball from No Tail. Keeps him alive. Vata here alone now, going to work on DK Phobos. Great TP. They don't have a stun to just get him out of this, and they will be able to... What? No, Poison Touch. It canceled it. I believe it did anyways. Or did he just cancel it on his own? It's only a level 1 Poison Touch. It won't do it. Misery's going to try to TP. He won't make it out. All right, well, DK Phobos, despite what happened, that's still a fine play. They get 3 kills. Cloud9 kind of come together one by one, and they take a fight that was not in favor of them. And suddenly, all of a sudden, Virtus.Pro in an okay spot.
Big exchange there in favor of Virtus.Pro. I believe he actually did that on purpose. So the Viper was pursuing the Centaur. He TP's out, and obviously it's great against Viper because he has no stun. but then he changes his targets, goes for the Shadow Fiend. Centaur got scared that Shadow Fiend was going to take too much damage, so actually, I believe he canceled it on purpose to maybe stop. Oh, I hear a pounce actually onto Envy. Yeah, so it did go for Blats, by the way. But he tried to save the Shadow Fiend, and he did so by kind of scaring off the Viper a little bit by canceling that TP. Very nice fight there from VP. Good Fiend's Grip. He knew that the Clockwork Hook was on cooldown. And things are going back in the way of Virtus.Pro, and it's actually... Okay, it's actually still a net worth gain. Or lead, I should say, for C9, about 2,500. By the way, have you seen DK Phobos' skin? Because I keep seeing him turn red and green.
Yeah, I don't know. I've not seen that. I don't know where
weird.
I don't know where you're seeing that from, but it's working just fine for me. Is it happening constantly?
For me, it's just like most of the time he's red, but sometimes he'll just be all green.
Oh.
It's kind of weird.
I'm gonna look out for it then. Gonna look out for the rest of the game. Hope I can find it. But all right, so Cloud9 is going to try to tighten up here a little bit. Like you mentioned, they did go for the blast for Envy, so he'll be able to farm, foot push, what have you. They will find Elvin with a hook shot here as well. He does use his ultimate. They're going to jump in. They know exactly where he is, and he is donezo. Mana Void brings him down. Envy gets the kill. Not really the spot to be if you are Illidan, just sitting at that top rune spot. Ugh, it's going okay for Virtus.Pro, and then he loses that dev. He did just buy his Blink Dagger at the very least, so he doesn't lose that much gold. They're going to head bottom. They're going to try to pincer here on FNG. He's got the Glimmer. He's got the Glimmer Cape. He's going to use it to just walk away.
Dire's middle tower is
Going to ward right on top of this Observer Ward. Two Observer Wards in the same exact spot. Envy blinks into Roche. They have a medallion as well. And this should be an Aegis for, I think, Envy. Botsa could pick it up as well if he wanted to. But early Roche, they're taking objectives. Cloud9 still have an advantage.
Vipers who pick up Blink Dagger are 10 and 0 at 6.84. All but 2 were picked up before 30 minutes. And that's actually an interesting stat because most of the time you could be like, well, yeah, that's because they have such a high win rate because they're just, you know, they're winning, they're crushing so hard they just they pick it up when after they're winning. And
right.
But the fact that they're picking it up early, actually, before the 30 minutes, well, I guess it's not that early, but it's still relatively early in terms of mid, late game, yada, yada, yada. Shows that there actually is maybe something to it. And I think it's nice. I think it gives you some decent initiation. It allows you to... It prevents you from being kited, in a way. Because, like, you can just have your positioning a little bit more favorable in the fights. Blinking away if you need to, blinking aggressively if you need to. I don't mind it. I think it's pretty nice.
I mean, Fox has a great game. It's 5-1-4, and that team fight in particular, bottom, was him doing work. That was before he had his Blink Dagger, I believe. I'm not sure if he had it during that engagement, but it doesn't really matter. They got it. They tore through Virtus.Pro essentially. They'll smoke up. They're gonna head bottom. No Tail is not really the target they're looking for, but a kill is a kill, or at least a tower is a tower. They just need to find something here. And Virtus.Pro will split up. They have DK Phobos for the global ultimate if they need to. Bottom lane, Illidan did jump in. Ice Shards don't connect. Here's Bone 7. Hook shot's going to go. He still has his ultimate, and he's going to use it, but he can't get out. Weave goes through. Illidan is in a heck of a amount of trouble. There's a great snowball. Walrus punch. We'll see you later. The Glimmer Cape came through, but he was underneath the tower. And that is another kill on Illidan that he really just can't afford. If he wants to keep pace with Envy, which is just not happening anymore, he has to avoid those deaths. Envy will TP mid. They'll blink away with DK Phobos. G will just walk out, who's now got his BKB, so G has farmed pretty well, despite him having an awful start. He is the top in net worth for Virtus.Pro, and it needs to stay that way. They have to make some room for Illidan to catch up to Envy and do some work. G can't really afford to die, but Virtus.Pro feels like the clock is ticking. The more farmed Envy gets, the harder this game is going to become. G is going to get Viper stricken. They have a Mana Void to stop the TP, and that'll provide the kill for Envy and Botsa. E bottom lane? Or rather F and G. Walrus punch. Casually, snowball. Lil's coming in. The sigil flies out as his snowball. Lil's going to get hit up. They will go for the great ultimate from FNG. No Tail. Fisher comes up. They're not dead yet. DK Phobos misses the stun on a No Tail. He goes on to Misery instead. Botsa comes through. Brings down Lil. FNG is going to go down as well. They're just crushing through this. They don't even care. Botsa was out of mana for the most part. And they come out of nowhere. They all converge together, and Cloud9 now want to go for a tier 3 tower at 23 minutes into the game. This is an anti-mage with only Vlad's and a Battle Fury, and they're still crushing this game. That's all he's got.
Well,
I don't need much else.
To be fair, it's pretty good. I mean, his items are where they need to be. He's gonna have a Yash up soon. But now they're 5-manning with against a Slark who's just went for Blink. It gives you absolutely no stats, so in terms of team fight, it's terrible. Shadow Fiend is going to be coming up in 2 seconds, but he's got no soul, so his Requiem is not going to do very much damage. Yeah, I guess he does have a BKB, but here we go. Action on to... Oh, Snowball comes out. Illidan does no damage. He's getting aggressed on. Ulti comes out from himself. BKB onto G. Here comes the Requiem, but it's going to be relatively weak. He actually does get the kill onto Misery. Gem drops. Phobos in some trouble. There comes the Fisher Sun to keep him at bay. Hook shot coming into DK Phobos. He's dead now.
There's no mech mana for Viper, but he will get out regardless. They're going to jump in. Envy is going to get nightmared up. Now he's kind of alone. Bone 7, does he have the hook shadow? He's already used to this engagement. No tail. Bounces up, but he gets out with a TP. Envy gets Fisher. That is just the Aegis. He's got his blink ready to go. Can they get a stun here? Do they have the ultimate? No, he is going to blink away. TP up on the high ground. He will make it out. But they get the melee racks while that's all happening. Illidan fighting Bone 7, actually getting rather low. Here comes G. Couple right clicks should do the job. Raze gets the kill just on the tail edge of it. And thank God he needed that desperately. G needed it to get something going. He needed some sort of Necromastery Souls, and he finally gets up there. All right, well, at least they hold the range racks. I guess that's the good thing about it. But
huge win there for Cloud9. The fact that they've already taken the racks at 25 minutes with an anti-mage. Oh, see him? He's green on my screen, by the way. Anyway. That play from Slark bottom around the tower was just straight up bad. I mean, there was no reason for him to be diving the tower like that whatsoever. His team was even coming to help him. He just jumped the gun big time, and it just... a series of events just followed that, and now we have a humongous lead for Cloud9.
Where do you go from here, Virtus.Pro? You have nothing on Illidan. You keep dying in these engagements. G just got a particularly big kill on the Clockwork, so that's not going to provide that much. Possibly Cloud9 only have a 12,000 net worth lead. It's going to get bigger as they take more and more objectives. M has his Meta Style already, which came out, like, he bought it, all of it, after that last engagement, after the Aegis was expired and used. That's a butterfly done for Fatsa, by the way, at 25 minutes into the game. He's the real carry. He's the real MVP in this game. Envy's done some work, but Fatsa has, I think, done the most damage. All right, we got to disconnect.
Yeah, it's hard for VP because it's hard to team fight with the items that Slark went for. Again, the blink dagger is good in terms of like kiting around heroes, maneuvering around so that you can maybe pick one hero off. But none of these heroes are like pick offable. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Honestly, the closest one is like Clockwork. He's maybe the easiest to pick off, but even then, he's got a Glimmer Cape, so you actually can't target him on your own. And even if you can, you're going to hurt yourself with the Blade Mail. You can't go on the Dazzle because he's just going to grave himself. I mean, I guess you have to maybe force him to use it. But then anyone you go on has the potential to get snowballed too, because now he's going to blink and he can snowball and save them.
Yeah.
There's just no clear target to actually go on, so that's why I do think that the blink is a mistake from Slark. I think he should have gone for something more that gives you more stats and actually helps you fight in team fights, because the blink is just a 2200 item that actually gives you nothing. I mean, it gives you maneuverability, it gives you ways to kite and get into fights, but it gives you absolutely no stats whatsoever. And I think that VP needs all the stats, because the team fight for Cloud9 right now is pretty insane.
I'm generally not a big fan of this for Slarks, but what do you think about an Orchid, just for silencing up whatever hero he's going to go on?
No, because they're... again, it's the same issue of if you go on Orchid the Tusk, he's just going to get healed. If you go on anyone else, they're just going to get snowballed, so on and so forth. And it's just not going to provide... I think he just needs stats. Like, I thought maybe even S and Y would have been good with this game. Just raw stats. Just something to help you actually fight in team fights. I know it's hard. I think innately the pickup of Slark in general was a mistake.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's part of the reason why it feels like it's not too effective here. Manta coming out, Mana Break coming out on the Illidan.
No tail.
Good stun coming on and no tail. Can they burst him down before the snowball?
Oh
no, they
my
can't.
God, it gets off every time. The hook shot on it, 2 from Bone 7. Snowball rolls through as well, but there's the Echo Slam. Here comes Envy. Big Mana Void, and the Cleave chopping them all down. Envy goes to work on G. Now he just sits tight. On the meantime, they're going to blink it with DK Phobos chasing after Bone 7. They can't find the stop. Here comes Fatsa. He's got blink in 9. There's the Lars punch from No Tail. They'll turn on this. Snowball's about to go through. G in trouble. All 5 are going to go down for Virtus.Pro. Fatsa does end up getting the double kill. Everyone on Cloud9 lives. That's a game-losing team fight there for Virtus.Pro, much like what we saw last game from Cloud9. Yeah, they should be able to take down at least some sort of objective here for Cloud9 now.
they gotta take them all, because if you remember EG versus Virtus.Pro, they did not give up until the throne was about to be dead.
That's true.
So just keep that in mind. But yeah, not too much more to say other than the fact that one, I think that this last pick AM was amazing, and the funny thing is, it's not like it's like against the Storm Spirit or something like that, where the mana void is a huge counter to them. It's just the fact that they have no way of dealing with him in the laning stage. They have no way of killing him. He can just free farm, and I don't know. I just think it was a really good pick. I think in general in this patch, anti-mage is extremely strong, much more than it was before, for a number of different reasons. Viper Strike coming out onto FNG, Illidan coming in, but the snowball comes out, and look, he's just rendered useless.
Bonsa is going to be right-clicking him here in a second. Good stomp into Misery. Misery is great. Will he get it off? Absolutely not. They will back away. Gems in the deck. Hookshot actually goes on a no-tail, I believe. But they're going to go in anyways. Bone 7's thinking about it. The mech is going to keep him up in fighting shape. Envy's going to back away. Looks like Fonsa will get a kill, but he's in deep now. And now the rest of the team is coming through. But here comes Cloud9 in for Snowball. Blink Snowball, and they get the kill on the FNG. DK Phobos, great stomp up. No-tail achievable. Fonsa will go down, but they've already blown up everybody on Virtus.Pro. Illidan forced to buy back. They're diving the well almost here. Illidan losing so much health through Envy and team fighting him. The Ice Shards keeping him corralled up with Cogs as well. They take down the top racks. They will TP home. The exception of Envy, who just seems to be clearing up some of these huts. And now he will back up. 6,200 gold in the bank. Buys a Reaver. He'll get a full heart within seconds here. Game is over for all intents and purposes, I believe.
Give me 1 second. I actually have to step out for a moment. Sorry.
No worries. All right, so Virtus.Pro probably looking forward to the next game, obviously. I don't want to say it is at the, like, they just bought back for Illidan. He's only got 1,800 gold in the bank right now. G is not really contributing that much. Short of, you know, Cloud9 throwing this heavily, I don't really know what you can do. Misery will get caught. He's going to get hookshotted on from Illidan, and this has been the innate problem with this unfortunate Slark this game, is that they've just corralled him with the Cogs. Good feeds grip coming in. Good snowball to keep everybody alive with the exception of Bone 7. Echo Slam comes through. Where's Envy? He's up. Fishered up. Nightmare up as well. Envy actually is completely out of this fight, but now coming in, trying to work on G. Envy is alone. Fox coming in. There's the Mantis out. They're just absolutely stun-locking him, but now Envy's going to clean this up. He's got a Mana Void to kill everybody. He's got to. He doesn't even need to. GG's just called immediately. Mana Void to finally clean it up. He gets the triple. No-Tail gets the double. Game number 2 taken by Cloud9. Series is evened up at 1 apiece. We are now moving into a best-of-3 situation. And, well, Trout, you missed the last fight. Not much else to say other than Envy's just too big at this point.
Yeah, sorry about that. Someone was slamming on my door. I have no idea what's going on. Anyway, yeah, I think the draft was really nice.